Hey there, and welcome to this video series of Laredo York. In today's video, we're going to be learning how to introduce ourselves in English. Now, introductions are a really important topic. When you first meet someone, or when you see them for the first time in a very long time, we have to learn how to speak to them and later on move to have a real conversation. In both cases, this is a really important topic which I hope we will grasp easily. So, let's get started. There are two types of introductions. There's the formal and the informal. Let's start with formal. Let's say you have just started your new job and you haven't yet met your boss. Well, in this case, you're going to ask some polite questions. First of all, you're going to start off by greeting yourself, explaining who you are and mentioning your name. In this case, you could say something like, "Greetings, my name is Mark." And later on, you're going to ask a question. If you don't know his name, you're going to say, "May I ask for your name, sir?" This is a really polite, formal way of saying something nice as well as informative towards your boss. May is a sort of questioned out. So that way, you're putting him in front of you. And sir is a polite way of saying Mr. Moving on, then once you have more conversations with him and you knock into his office to ask some questions, then you're going to say, "Hello there, James," if that's his name. Let's say he is James. Let's imagine. And then just before you ask him what the business thing is about or why you're there in the office, you're going to say, "How do you do, sir?" Just to be polite and to have a sort of quick conversation before the actual meeting or the actual important thing. So this is how you go on into a formal introduction. If you don't know him, greetings and may. Once you do know him a little, you can afford to be a little less polite, but still remember, keep the long words in there. Moving on. This is how you would do it in a formal way. So now let's look at it the informal way with your friends and family. Let's say you started this new job and you have a colleague. This colleague is going to become a future friend of yours. Well, in this case, if you yet don't know him, again, do not know him, you're going to start off like this. "Hey, my name is Mark." This is a sort of more friendly and but still polite way to ask and introduce yourself. And then you're going to say, "What's your name?" to learn what his name is. And later start a conversation. And after it's like your second week of work and you've already met him a couple times, every single morning you're going to go to him and say, "Hey James, how are you?" This will make a small conversation, but still maintaining that you're friends. Remember this? You see the big difference between formal and informal. That is the point here. With formal, just remember, keep in the long words, and informal, keep it shorter. It's a sort of easier, simple way to learn it. So, this is how you introduce yourself. But then you're going to have to want a small conversation with him. Well, for the conversation, it's not that hard either. In fact, I think it's simpler. So, then you're going to ask if you're with your boss in an office ambience, you're going to ask your boss, "How do you do, sir?" And then he will either respond being, "I'm great, thank you for asking. How about you?" So "I'm great" means he is doing good, he is feeling well, and then he'll probably respond with a thank you and also ask how you are. However, though, if he is not great or if he's feeling bad, then he'll tend to say something like, "Not great if I'm honest," and explain why. In this case, we can see that our boss is feeling slightly sick today, and he'll continue to ask, "How about you?" Anyways, this looks quite complicated, but once you do it a couple times, you'll understand it really easily. Then, in the informal way, it is pretty much the same if I'm honest, except for the long sentence of thank you for asking, it's the same. So if your friend asks you, how are you? Instead of how do you do? Then in this case, you can either respond with I'm great. How about you? So again, I'm great is much simpler than the thank you for asking and less formal, but still works to be polite. And how about you is just so you ask him how he does. And then he'll either respond if he's good. However, if he is not feeling great or if he's bad, he'll say not great if I'm honest, which this is the same. And then he'll say why. In this case, our friend is feeling sick. And he'll then ask you the same question. As you can see, introductions seem complex at first, but once you grasp these 2 slides, which by the way, they're in the resources section, you will understand really easily how to speak English. So thank you for watching this video today, and I hope to see you in the next one.